AFL Today semi-final prediction show is here for some huge matchups. What do we cover, lads?
I'm bricking it as a Hawks fan. We have to go back to Adelaide Oval.
Oh.
What a game it's set to be, though.
Oh, bricking it in a semi-final. I am huge on the Suns. I reckon they can cause an upset and get the job over the line on their big brother.
Really? Check out AFL Today Show right now. Welcome back to the AFL Today Show, brought to you by Stockhead, and we are here and ready to go for semi-final week. I'm your host, Liam McAllion, also known as the Stats Guy. We got the two chuckleheads on the couch, Leo Mullaly, Marcus Bazzano. I reckon Leo just got home from celebrating for the Hawks. How you going, Leo?
Oh, boy, have I got a semi-final to predict for you. Let's do it.
I swear you two are swap bodies. We've also got Marcus Bazzano. He usually uses those type of jokes.
I do. I really like that, Leo. That's very good. Taking a leaf out of my book.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
Out of your book.
Yeah, oh my God, just absolutely relax over there. Another awesome show as we dive into all the matchups, tips, stats, debates, bog predictions, best on ground, which we absolutely love, big calls as well, and everything in between. Make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the final season and beyond, for the rest of the final series and beyond, because we've actually got a wrap of all the finals teams as well, because obviously if you want to check that out, your team has been wrapped up by these boys and Wally from the 9th to 18th teams.
Yes, correct.
So you obviously went through every team. We're going to go through every other team after the grand final wrap, which is really, really good fun there. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button on the way to 1 million subscribers.
We are, but only 2% have the subscriber bell notification ticked.
Oh, it's a very good call, actually, because we really want that subscriber bell because it goes a long way.
And you know what they say? The best kind of milk is 2% milk.
Really? There you go.
By the way, this is going off topic, but that ad, is it the Pure Milk ad from back in the day?
Yeah,
where he walks
the
in?
full cream or extra dollop.
Yeah, what a classic.
Make sure you follow AFL Today. Let's get this back on track across X, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, of course, for more footy content all season long. All right, before we have more sidetracks on the catch over there, let's get into the semi-final previews. Friday night footy, what a cracker this one is. Adelaide versus Hawthorn. Friday night, 7:40 at the Adelaide Oval. Is there a bit of trauma there, Marcus?
Yeah, getting a semi because we got a semi-final on Friday night.
Oh, he's copied his joke. There we go.
Adelaide versus Hawthorn. It's going to be an absolute monster clash. And look, Hawthorn, they don't have the best of memories at Adelaide Oval, and you would know that.
Adelaide Oval. No, I've just tuned that out of my brain.
What is Oval?
I've went through countless therapy sessions.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Is there going to be Adelaide Oval trauma or inspiration for the Hawks? Like, and I'm sorry, Leo, but we've got the Hawthorn trauma reel.
The trauma reel, wow.
Because obviously you got last year's final versus Port Adelaide where Sicily hit the post in the last minute, and you got both Adelaide Oval meetings this season that you guys have played in Gather Round and also Adelaide just a month ago, which was another tight loss. And in fact, it's a 38% win-loss record for Hawthorn at Adelaide Oval. And
that's not horrible, I guess.
Liam, what's their record in the past 7? Because it is a little bit horrible.
Well, I was tempted to lean towards the Hawkers, but 1-6 at the Adelaide Oval in their last 7. So Adelaide fans were like, "Ooh, that's a good chance for us to bounce back." It is a bit different in the finals, obviously, but 1-6 in the last 7 is not good reading.
No, but it is the first time they've met each other in finals football on 5 occasions.
Yep.
It is in favour of Hawthorn 3-2, but this will be the first finals meeting at the Adelaide Oval, which is actually quite a surprise considering that's 5 meetings there. So looking forward to this one. It's going to be great atmosphere and a huge game. But, obviously Adelaide lost to Collingwood last week.
Yes.
They're the minor premiers. And if Adelaide lose this week and get knocked out in straight sets as minor premiers, they will be the first club in AFL history under the current final system to do so, to be knocked out as minor premiers.
Oh, in straight sets. Jeez, that would
Which isn't great reading.
No.
So does that change? We said Matthew Nicks, Coach of the Year, tick.
Yep.
Does this change your opinion of Matthew Nicks being Coach of the Year if they get knocked out in straight sets?
Yeah, I reckon it does. I think you can just untick that box if he goes out in straight sets. No coach could. I think the best coach is the one that wins the flag, though, realistically.
Yeah, most of the time. But you disagree.
I don't think it's whoever wins the flag. I think it's just whoever's done the best job with the tools that they have available.
Like Adamuze is probably up there. Is that what people are putting out there in the world? Makers in the Coach of the Year?
Our old host, Wally, from 2 shows ago wanted him sacked. So that's a real complete change there.
I forgot about that. Yeah, he did want him sacked. That's a joke.
Is he still your Coach of the Year, Liam?
Adamuze.
No, not Adamuze. I just said people will put him up there. I agree with you guys. I think if you go down in straight sets, that's not a good look. In most sports, though, Coach of the Year is the regular season. I think, but in AFL, we just still include the finals, I'm pretty sure.
It should include the finals.
It should include the finals because the finals is the most important thing.
But I mean, they did have a bit of an excuse last week. Well, they tried to bring out a bit of an excuse because they blamed an illness that swept through the playing group, and there was about 7 or 8 of those players, and perhaps that was the reason that they gave for a poor showing against Collingwood.
Honestly, get stuffed, Adelaide. Adelaide fans do not want to hear that. They saw their team not even turn up. They were horrible against Collingwood, and they go, "Oh, we were all sick. Oh, half of our team was sick or whatever." I reckon that's a lie for starters. Thriller was just shirking out a contest. That doesn't mean he had an illness that made him jump out away from the ball.
Man, a wussy boy.
I'd like to see your 5'2" body go fly back with the flight and do what Thriller did.
Well, I don't play AFL and I don't get paid
And
$1 million for it.
I'd like to do it when you're sick too.
Well, first of all, I don't think they were sick. Second of all,
Would you do it now? Because you're a little bit sick, aren't you?
I'm not claiming to have a go at Thriller.
I just think that you can't blame them. Even if they were sick, this is what I'm going to say. Don't put it out in the media. It's bad look.
You know what? I agree with Liam.
Yeah, excuses, yeah.
No, I agree with him too.
He just doesn't like to agree with me sometimes.
But an area I think that they struggled with against Collingwood, but I do think that they can get on top in this game, is the midfield battle. Because it's going to be a little tussle in there.
Tussle.
Yes.
We talked about Adelaide's midfield depth in the last show. Isaac Cumming only had, I think it was 6 disposals. James Peatling, 9 disposals.
Yeah, not good enough.
Neil Bullen, 17. But
Neil Bullen again.
I think the midfield depth is possibly perhaps just a little bit too strong for that Hawthorn midfield because, I mean, if you can tag Newcombe, which they have done in the past, but if you tag him, there's no one else really in that midfield of that caliber. No one as good as Jai Newcombe, obviously with Will Day out. So it's easier said than done though, because Jai Newcombe's finals record is impeccable. He's played in 3 finals games and he has 3 BOGs according to AFL player ratings.
Can he keep it up?
I think Hodgie last night called him Mr. September. I think that was a bit far.
Well, from one of the best September players
Who
himself.
isn't it? Was Lee Matthews Mr. September? I think originally
it was, but then it was Hodgie.
Hodgie as well. Yeah, I don't think you can put Newcombe there. You need to win a flag.
It's gone from Hodgie to Dusty to Newcombe.
Yeah, that doesn't read well. That does not sound.
Pick the old one out. It's Dusty, the Richmond.
He's the only one that had chopsticks in the restaurant. Yeah.
What is that?
He fought someone with chopsticks.
Is that your idea of humour?
I'm just saying an outlier. No, I was just saying.
was just trying to
See, my outlier was the fact that he played for Richmond and the other 2 played for Hawthorn.
Yes.
Yeah, have a crack at some stand-up, man.
He's throwing him under the bus. I'll tell you what, he's a little aggro. But we did talk about yesterday who we think would line up on him. And it's going to be, like, we're thinking Barry.
Yeah.
Obviously. And he did show attention to him earlier in the season in the 2 meetings that they have had between each other this season. Jai Newcombe only had 19 disposals, which resulted...
Did kick the match winner?
Did kick the match winner. It resulted in a 3-point win, low scoring. Obviously, Tassie, there was a bit of weather involved there. And in the second meeting, 15 disposals and 1 goal, but it was only on him for a quarter, I believe.
Yeah, he was going between him and Day because obviously Day was in the team before he got injured.
Yeah, but obviously no Day in this one, so
too
Newcombe
soon.
will likely cop a lot of attention there. And on the other side of the tag watch, Will Nash find his way to Dawson, but will Connor Nash find his way to Dawson? What do you think the play there? Because you haven't really used him as a tagging role, Leo.
Will Nash won't find his way to Dawson, but Connor Nash also won't find his way to Dawson.
Well, that made that so confusing. You're just saying Nash won't tag. Is that correct?
I think he should tag. I think it's perfect. He's as tall as a centre half forward. He's a big body mid.
Fast. Yeah.
He can take out.
Lines up well in Dawson.
Lines up well against Dawson.
And let's be real, he's not in the side
mids.
for his kicking.
He kicks it sideways. Yeah.
Of course not. So I think it's the perfect matchup, but there's been a few occasions this year that Mitchell hasn't used it. Like Nash could have gone to Sarong when Hawks played Freo and Dawson last time these sides met and just hasn't pulled the trigger. So I'd love to see Sam Mitchell just put on his genius hat that Kane Corns calls him.
Genius hat.
Make the move.
And Dawson was actually like a momentum changer in the previous meeting, in that second quarter when Adelaide went on a bit of a roll. And speaking of previous meetings, another one who was really important in those was Isaac Rankin. He was huge in both meetings between the 2 sides. I think he finished with a combined 35 disposals and a handful of goals. But obviously he won't feature, but his little partner in crime in that forward 50, Josh Rochelle, is set to return to the squad, and I know this is a big ask, coming straight back from an injury that has basically ruled you out for the entire campaign, but is he the X factor they need to do when they're delivering the ball inside 50, and can he do it? Can he be the game changer?
Is he? Yes. Can he?
Different question.
Oh, I think he he's good to ruffle a few feathers of the Hawkball mentality because he's a bit annoying as well, Rochelle. So maybe that's a good counteract that he can go at the annoying Hawks players. So maybe that side, yes. But first game back, he needs to kick at least 2 goals. And I don't know.
Does he?
Yeah, I just think to help their side just to get because they only scored 55 points last week. Like they need to kick another big score, and I think he needs to kick a couple of goals. But I'm not sure first game back he can do it.
If they bring him straight back in, and he gets 5 touches, doesn't kick a goal, you're sort of like, was it worth bringing him back in?
I think it's a risk they need to take.
I agree, though.
I think he has to play, but I don't think he needs to necessarily hit the scoreboard. I think it's more
Pressure.
like he comes in, right, and you look at the forward half matchups, and all of a sudden Hardwick might have to go to him, whereas Hardwick before would have to go to Ben Keys. So does it free up Ben Keys?
True.
Or does Amon then have to go to a matchup that Adelaide can exploit? Because, Amon, good user, but
Not the best defender,
defensively accountable.
Okay.
So maybe we'll just give that Hawks defense more questions to consider. So
True.
doesn't have to hit the scoreboard, but I'd love to see that small forward brigade, if he is playing, combined for 6-7 goals?
Yep.
Luke Pedler.
Luke
Luke
Pedler
Pedler,
can
Benny
chip in there.
Keys.
That's all right.
But speaking of, obviously, the young forward coming back from injury, whereas Hawthorn, they've got a young forward, a young star forward that is going to miss with injury, unfortunately. And Cal Shadir, obviously the excitement package, is going to... Oh, dear, yes. It's going to be a hamstring injury. I like it. It's been all right. Obviously, the like-for-like changes, Mitch Lewis coming back into the side. Is that what we're going to see, Leo? Or you predicted the team last week, so are there going to be any surprises from selection guru Leo?
Oh, the guru.
Genius hat on.
We didn't call you genius, but...
He never left. Don't worry about it. I reckon Max Ramsden.
Wait, no. He was trying to be a little bit...
I tried to be funny.
Yeah.
I gave your attempted humour there.
I don't try to be funny. I am.
Landed the same.
No, Lewis will come back in. I think he's a bit of a liability at ground level, but I think Chol can I guess make amends for that as a bigger body.
Yeah.
I would love to see Lewis have a big game because I'm a bit worried. He looks a bit slow.
Bit underdone.
Yeah.
Coming back from injury.
I think he's
Don't know
just
about
naturally
underdone,
slow,
just naturally
yeah.
like he's had 2 ACLs in the last 2
Bit
years.
sluggish,
Like,
not great for him. But
No.
boys, honestly, why play 4 quarters of footy when this game can be done in 2? Because I think that's the way it goes when Hawthorn play this season.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is when Hawthorn have led at halftime, they've gone on to win 93% of those games.
Whew. Leo, turn it off at half time if you're up this weekend.
Whereas when they're losing,
I'll just tell the pub to turn it off.
100 people in there go, why?
Whereas when they're trailing at halftime, when they're losing at halftime, they only go on to win 22% of the games.
Actually, but yeah, maybe you should turn it off if you're losing at half time.
So
Yeah, that's probably the better option.
so this
I feel
season,
like the pub won't be happy with me either way.
this
There's not many
season
Adelaide
suggests-
fans in Melbourne.
This season suggests that when Hawthorn are leading at halftime, they win, and when they're trailing, they lose. But the Crows actually, when they're trailing at halftime, they've won 50% of their games, Liam, which is a fantastic record.
Yes.
But yeah, the record is not great for trailing for Hawthorn, but you know what? Hopefully they get off to a good start. Silence that Adelaide Oval crowd because that can be.
They did that last time and they still.
So maybe they should
But not in the second quarter.
lose the first half.
They got to play 2 quarters of footy, Leo. Come on,
Or we
not
get
just one.
get rid of the stats entirely, make sure it's a draw at halftime.
Yeah, let's do
And then
it.
the stats go out the window.
Love it.
There we
That's
go.
it. Classic finals football. Play 2 quarters.
But Hawthorn's defense against GWS last week was incredible. Obviously, the likes of with Battle, with Barras, and Adelaide's forward line was pretty underwhelming. Sorry, except for Tex and Pedler, and we called out Thriller, we called out Fogarty.
Yes.
That they were underdone or they didn't really show what they were capable of. But it was actually the tall forwards in the previous meeting that got on top with Tex, Thriller, and Fog combining for 8 goals or kicking at least 1, and that could be a factor which could lay an impact on the result of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we think that how many goals do they need to combine for Tex, Thriller, Fog, like for them to win? I think it needs to be 8
I think it
again.
has to be around that mark.
Yeah.
8?
Yeah, why not? Because like you said,
6, 7
Rochelle might
plus.
not hit the scoreboard. Pedler, I do love Lukey Pedler, but who knows what he's going to do? Can he back it up? I think, maybe 7 plus, I'm going to say.
It depends how many you get out of the smalls, I think.
Yeah.
But I think because of Hawthorn.
You're hoping for 0.
I'm hoping for 0, but I reckon if they can get 6 maybe out of them,
Yeah.
I think that's okay,
2 each.
depending on what the Smalls do.
Yeah, nice. Obviously, the winner in this one plays against Geelong at the MCG in a prelim final. The Hawks taking on Geelong would be a classic matchup,
that
and the
would be
Crom
tasty.
would be really fun as well for a ticket to the grand final, which is very exciting. Before we get into the tips, margins, and best on ground for this one, we're going to cut to footy form guys. Wally, Wally and Harrow just recorded their best bet of the weekend. They were bang on last week. Let's see what they have this week.
G'day, boys. Loving the show. Thanks for the shout out last week. Obviously, the unders got up for the punters, and it was a pretty easy watch, which was great. This week, Harrow and I have just finished recording, and the one we like's a little bit of an obscure one. It's actually a try bet, and it's in the Adelaide Hawthorn game. We think it's going to be a close one. We're struggling to take a lean to either side, so Harrow's pulled the reins, and he's made a call here. And we're going to back either team to win by under 24.5 points, and you're actually getting a decent price on that one. We think it's going to be a close contest. The last two between these two it's finals. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tight. But, either team to win the Crows-Hawks game by under 24.5 points. Go Hawkies.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website. Let's get into the tips, margin, and best on ground in this one, lads. We'll start with Leo in the corner over there. For your beloved Hawkers,
Are you tipping the Hawkers?
backing them?
Negative.
Oh, no.
This man is a hater.
I'm a realist. Crom by 6 points, and Jordan Dawson will have a big say on this game. I don't think Hawthorn will tag him, and I reckon he will bounce back from a poor showing from the skipper last week.
Yeah, fair call. Yeah, he was a bit poor, wasn't he? Mark Orza?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Adelaide on this one again. So 12 points, 2 goals. I think it's going to be a really close game, and it's going to be an absolute arm wrestle, come down the last quarter. And I think Joshy Worrell might be a friend of the show, Josh Worrell.
Friend
of Leo.
Yeah.
He'll be best on ground. He's been leading like Adelaide disposals in previous games, and even though the side has been poor in a couple of previous weeks, he's been one that sort of can hold his head high.
Yeah,
and he was great in the last meeting.
Rob
between the two
Duvall's
sides.
trying that, man. I'm just going to keep saying that. Surely just somehow gets in next year.
Yeah. And yourself?
I'm going to go Crom by 10 points. I think we're all going a really close game, under 2 goals. And Benny Keys, I'm going to touch on that in maybe my big call later on, but I think he's going to have a big say. And I really liked Leo's point of Rochelle back in. It just caused a bit of chaos for the Hawks backline, which they didn't really want. So
You just hope he's not on Hardwick, which I don't think he will be, because Keys gets up the ground, Hardwick stays.
But you're
deeper.
right, because if Hardwick's on him, then
Hardwick will stay. I think he'll be fine. I think Keys will get up the ground.
there we go. Very nice. The other semi-final is a Q clash, lads. Let's get around this one. Brisbane versus Gold Coast, Saturday night, 7:35 at the Gamma. Let's go, Leo. This is absolutely awesome.
How bloody exciting
Yes.
is this? The Suns, they did it last Saturday night. Can they do it this Saturday night?
Ooh.
Look, the last time these two sides played was 6 weeks ago. It was at People's First, I believe. The Suns won by 11 goals. Now, there were some key players missing that day. For Gold Coast, Took Miller and Dan Rioli.
2 guns, yeah.
Pretty sure you've heard of them.
Was in the wet as well.
Was in the wet. And Lions were missing Lyman. Now, the players from that day that will miss in this game are the Lions, Lockie Neal and Eric Hipwood. Not really anyone from the Suns. Does that mean advantage Suns? Are we daring to dream, Marcus?
I tell you what, I'm really big on the Suns here. I think, honestly, and it's partly just to do with that pink kit. But also the 100% finals record. But that pink kit is amazing. But I'm actually really big on them. I think they can cause an upset and get the job done at the Gabatoir, where they don't have the best of records. But
hoping
you know what? No team has lost to the Suns and won the grand final. But if they just go on and win the thing, that stat is redundant. It doesn't make any sense.
I think it does make sense. If they go on and beat Geelong in the grand final, then every team that has lost to the Gold Coast Suns cannot win the grand final. I think that's what you meant.
Yeah.
Shut up, boys. Absolutely shut up. And because I was on GBS, I'm going to jump over to the other expansion side.
I like that.
And I like them. They need a bit of support, so I'm giving it to them.
All right, fair enough, but let's get serious.
Yeah.
Enough of this.
There's going to be some fisticuffs on the couch.
You don't think they have a chance, Leo?
Well, I'll get into that. Let's talk a bit about how last week the Cats, they showed the Suns the blueprint to stop these Brizzy Lions. Firstly, you got to tag McCluggage, you got to tag Rayner. But there's one issue. Suns just don't tag.
Maybe they will.
That is an issue.
Should they? What are we thinking with the midfield matchup? Should they find a tagger? Should a Bodie Hewland, who's a great lockdown, go to Cam Rayner?
Interesting.
How do we see that playing out?
I would actually really like to see Took Miller go to Hugh McCluggage and play a sort of
Interesting.
not a lockdown, But body on body, basically just don't leave his side.
Is he
Just
going to
stay on
grab
the
some
whole
areas,
game.
grab some areas that he shouldn't? Like in the past?
Possibly, or he might find his way to Zorko. That'll be a fun matchup, as we'll get onto
touch on
later.
that.
But
Yes.
no, I do think Touk Miller to Hugh McCluggage could be a bit of a play.
I don't mind that.
Both have the running capacity. I don't mind that either. Stats guy, any thoughts?
Oh, I think you have to tag. I'm leaning towards McCluggage as well. I wasn't really sure who, but maybe Touk, because obviously you got Rivalry Anderson dominating the midfield, so Touk doesn't have to do as much of the workload. But I think you got to tag McCluggage over everyone, because you take out Lockie Neal, they rely really heavily on McCluggage. He got tagged last week and they got absolutely smashed. So I'd say McCluggage. Yeah.
I think, but
So you're leaning towards more Rayner.
It's skeptical because they just don't do it, the Suns.
Yeah.
I
Get
don't.
Zimmer out there to tag.
True.
He's tough,
I
man.
don't see it happening. Then on the flip side, you could go Dunkley on Rao or Anderson, which would be interesting to see because I think Dunkley will play a negating role.
Yep.
But the other way to stop Brisbane is stopping that kick mark game that they love. They love the uncontested marks. They want the corridor, basically. The Lions averaged the most marks this season with 104.
Interesting.
So it's, I think, 3 more than the Cats, who are next best. They got 90 last week, 63 last time these sides met, although, as you said, was raining, so probably wasn't the conditions for it. So with all that sort of statistical midfield matchup, yada stuff in there,
Yada.
I'm big on the big brother here.
Oh,
I am big. I just think if we look at the Suns' record against the Gabba,
at the
Gabba.
Oh, against it too, I guess.
Yeah,
They're
true.
up against the wall at the Gabba.
They've lost their last 10 there. They last won there in 2018 and an all-time record of 3 wins, 18 losses.
Not ideal.
And on top of that, Brisbane lead the Q Clash record 21-8. So
Honestly, that's better for the Suns than I thought. 21-8. It's still
not
horrible
good.
though. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not.
But Brisbane weren't great in that early
Yeah.
period as well when they did join the competition. So Brisbane did have the
late
wooden a little bit early.
2010s.
But I think
as well,
Gold Coast
yeah.
were worse.
Late 2010s though, like
They were pretty
Brisbane
bad.
were not the best.
Other than the miracle on grass.
On ice.
on ice. Miracle on grass, I meant to say.
But look, I just think that midfield for Brisbane, that to be honest, I thought was embarrassed last week. McCluggage, Rayner, Ashcroft, Dunkley, these guys, they'll respond. They're professionals. They're highest performing athletes.
Absolutely,
you can get.
yeah.
Great
Well,
midfield core.
Levi got a little bit schooled last week
By Dempsey.
in the midfield.
Yep.
So does he have the ability to be the one to step up in this game with Neil out? Do you
Yeah,
give-
maybe.
I don't even think he needs to.
No. You got his brother.
You've got, as I mentioned, those 4 guys there. You can add in, Zach Bailey as well. Like, I don't think there's any pressure on Levi to respond here. And as you mentioned, his brother is a Norm Smith medalist.
How easy.
So he can,
Yeah. Oh.
so he can go and do it.
Hey, what is going on over there?
Oh, I just see in a bogan there. One player that does need to lift, though, is Charlie Cameron. Now, he had 2 disposals last week. Stats guy, you hated him.
I wasn't even here. I was not even here.
Yes, you were. You were on
You're
the
here on
show
Sunday, mate.
Oh, yeah, I was on Sunday. I thought you were talking about
You know what?
before the game.
You're a
Oh, stop.
Caro's
I thought you were
rolling
talking
in her
about
grave.
pre-game,
Caro's
sorry.
loving it.
I thought you were talking about pre-game. My bad. Yes, he was very poor.
Oh, at least I stopped myself. I just went for it. But he does love playing the Suns. 43 goals from 19 games, which is the best versus any
Good record.
side. So if there's any time for Chucky to step up, it's in this game. And look, I touched on me being on the big brother. And just on the big brother, little brother, I guess, rivalry. Stats guy, there's a matchup you love.
Oh, I talked about this on the Sunday show. I've been thinking about this all week. Zorko.
Are you sure you were there on the Sunday show?
I think I was there. I don't know. It was an out-of-body experience. It was such a good show. Check it out. Dane Zorko versus Touk Miller is the matchup I'm looking for. They always go head-to-head. They always go a bit crazy, bit wild. There's always they don't want to shake each other's hands. There's been a few hands going the wrong places. There's been a few saying the breath stinks and things like that. Absolutely wild. Touk as well said last night in an interview he wouldn't get a beer with him. Admits there's still a rivalry there. A lot of AFL players are like when they go to the media, oh, I don't know, there's nothing there or something like that. But these two genuinely hate each other. And Zorko, he lifts his intensity. Usually he's an outside player, this man. He loves an outside, get a bit of a meters gain on the outside, but he has more tackles and 1%ers against Gold Coast than any other opponent in his career. So he's going in hard, and I'm going to say half his tackles on the weekend will be directed at Touk Miller's ribs.
That's something to watch.
Yeah, I genuinely reckon he'll try
Well,
and
his
line him
height
up.
probably takes him to Touk Miller's ribs anyway.
Yeah,
so.
you're
Touk
right.
Miller's not that tall.
Well, true.
He's taller than Zorko. though, yeah.
Zorko.
So who's the little brother, even though Touk Miller's younger, I think?
Well, this Gold Coast
Gold
is the
Coast,
little
the little
brother.
I just
so-
meant from out of these two as well.
Oh.
So I'd say Zorko.
They're not related.
Maybe that's why the rivalry's born there, obviously, because they're both leaders of the club at the respective times.
Yes.
And obviously there's a bit of a derby there that was.
It's like a
beginning to
snowball
brew.
effect. Like one thing happens to the other person and they counteract. And
Yeah. I don't know. I've just loved it over the years. I think it's been going on for about 6 years. So hopefully we see some of that
Now
on
we
the
see it in
weekend.
a final. How bloody good.
Exactly right.
So
exactly
good.
right.
And the last thing before we get to tips, Ben King last week, 0 goals, 3 behinds, but he has a massive role to bring the ball to ground on Harris Andrews. We know how dangerous Andrews is from his intercepting. I think he had 9 intercepts from 16 touches last week. But if King can bring it to the ground, and you got guys like Bailey Humphrey who kicked 3 last week in his first final, he kicked 3 last time these sides played.
He's had a breakout year, by the
He
way. I
has.
think he's been so underrated.
He
this
has
season.
been, and he proved last week he's a big final
He's a
player.
big game player.
He steps up for the big occasion. So I don't even think King needs to kick a goal here. As long as he
For them to win.
For them to win.
I don't know.
he just needs to do enough to stop Andrews' impact.
Yep, I don't hate it because you got other guys there like, even though he's a mid-size, but you got Ben Long who's
Long.
kicking goals. He's more than capable in the air.
They can get goals from midfield.
Farah's
Anderson
in the
kicks
air as
goals.
well.
Yeah. No, fair call. Fair
Benny
call.
Ainsworth for a cheeky
Yep.
couple.
There we go.
Very true.
There we go. This is going to be awesome. Q Clash tips, margin, and best on ground. I'll start with Marcus, please.
I said I was big on Gold Coast, and I think they get the job done. I'm going Gold Coast by 15 points.
Really?
Yep. And one of my favourite players in the competition, Noah Anderson, I believe, will get the best on ground.
Ooh, interesting
Did they do
stuff.
the Q Clash medal for this?
In a fight?
It's the Ashcroft medal, isn't it?
Yeah. And the Ashcroft, Will Ashcroft has got it before, which is pretty cool. Leo?
I'm going Lions by 15, and I think Will Ashcroft will actually get best on ground. I reckon 30 in a couple.
30. That's a huge day.
Huge. Talking about
enormous.
huge McCluggage is going to get best on ground, or ground, whatever you want to call it. Lions by 22 points. I'm almost tempted to up that. I think that it was the fairy tale for the Suns last week. Everyone's up and about. No trumpets will be heard.
If you're going to up it, what are you going to up it to?
We'll go 35.
Say
Why not?
Brisbane will win by 35.
Brisbane will win by 35.
All right, I want a Suns fan watching to clip up me and Stats Guy's tips, and if Suns win, make an edit out of it. And
Make sure to include
include
my
Marcus's when he's right as well.
There we go. All those Suns. I actually know a couple of Suns fans, but we'll have to wait and see if they make any edits out of us.
You know all of the Suns fans?
Yeah. That's harsh. Lucky we got to the end of the game there. All right, that's all of the games covered. The semi-finals all covered there. Let's get into the lock of the week and the big calls. What is your lock of the week, Leo?
I'm going for Noz 20 plus disposals. Noah Anderson, that is.
Yes.
I just think even if Dunkley
20 plus. Oh.
that's a lock, mate.
I know,
If Dunkley does go to him, I still think he gets 20, but I actually think Dunkley goes to Rao.
Ooh, interesting. Marcus?
My lock is Berry goes to Newcombe. And
Very good lock, that one.
that is an absolute must, and it'd be so stupid of you, Matthew Nix, if you did not do that matchup, and I believe that will be a lock, and that could be the key to winning the game.
Interesting. What are we passing, like as a pass mark, if you go in for a quarter, 2 quarters?
No, it needs to be for
Two or
more
half
than
quarters.
a half.
Yeah, I agree.
It's got
I
to be
agree.
majority of the game.
But we
Over
also
50% of
need the
game.
commentators to consistently mention it.
Okay.
Like they
Oh,
can't.
he's nervous now.
Like no, they would though.
They
They'd be
will
like-
mention it. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good call. My one is Dunkley, 5+ tackles. So I think he averages close to 7 or 8. His last 5 against the Suns, he's had 5+ tackles. So just a lock there. And like you said, he likes to play that negating role all the time in the midfield, and he's a beast tackler. So 5+
beast
tackles,
tackler.
Yep.
absolutely easy for him, I reckon. Big call.
That's a big one on champion data, by the way.
What do you mean?
Like sometimes what they call a tackle and not a tackle.
Oh, I agree with that. There's a few tackles. He'll get
Well,
to
there's
that.
a-
It'll be
lot of
funny if
hand-
it's 4.
I'll count them myself. I'll go through the whole
There's
game.
a lot of handballs that are counted, which I don't believe are handballs.
Oh.
50% of throws in the competition, by the way.
50%.
It's like marriage.
Yeah, exactly right. There we go. Big call, Marcus.
Big call. I'm going to go a very big call here. I'm going to go Anderson, Witts, Rowell, and Miller, so that Gold Coast midfield, to combine for 30+ clearances.
big call.
in
That
the
is a
game.
lot. There we go.
30+ clearances in the game, and I believe with Lockie Neal out, with possibly Hugh McCluggage, if they do put a negating role on him, then they can dominate that midfield, and they got players that just take clearances.
That's
for
a
fun.
big
So-
call.
Leo
'Cause-
approving of your big call is a big moment.
Well,
on
I
the
feel
show.
like how many
Come a long way.
clearances do like the Suns average? It'd be around 40, 45.
40, 41.
So
I believe, around that mark.
four
I
players
don't
are going to
mind
get. Whoa.
All of those
It's a
players
big
are the only
call.
ones getting their clearances, so I don't mind that.
Bailey
What about
Humphrey can roll through
Fiorini?
there.
Humphrey.
Fiorini. If Davis
Flanders.
Nah, not Flanders.
Good old defensive clearance. Rioli could be in there.
True. Oh, well,
Clearance
it's a
is
big
good.
call for a reason.
I like
it's a big
it.
call for a reason. Leo,
what I'm
this is
here
a very different big call.
Yeah, I was just trying to be a bit different. That's who I am. I'm going for 240 plus tackles across the two games.
I had a look. Last week was just below that. Why did you?
Oh, they didn't even acknowledge it.
Because I was trying to add up in my head the tackle. That's just usual Marcus touching.
Can we
him.
count that one?
That's one of the tackles for the week. All right, I will give you 239 plus
There you go.
tackles
Thank you for
because
that.
Marcus already gave you a tackle. There we go. I like that. No. Oh, crap, 238.
That's you just tackled the
But
mic.
also, both of them were holding the man. Where's the footy, mate? We don't have a footy.
Of course, they just tackled the mic.
That's all right.
Actually, that was a violation, so I'm going to just give 239, not 238.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
fine. Look, that's 60 tackles per team, and I just reckon Hawthorn, Adelaide, I can see both sides getting over 70 tackles in that,
Yeah.
which will be, 140, and then you only need 50 each for the Q clash.
Oh, light work.
Piece of PI
So it's a
double
lock.
five, mate.
It's a lock.
It's a lock.
Yeah, it's a lock and a big call all in one. There we go.
Big lock.
My big call is Keys up. Ben Keys, 15 plus disposal and 3 plus goals. He had 2 goals, 1 in the last meeting against the Hawks, so he had a chance for 3 goals.
Because he's not playing Collingwood.
Yes, yeah. I was not doing this big call last week against Collingwood, but this week I think he can find a bit of space, especially with Rochelle back, a bit more space in that forward line, kick 3 plus, and he'll go in the midfield a little bit and push up the ground for 15 plus disposal. So that's my big call. All right. No more tackles from you. Are we all good?
I'm all good. I'm tackled out.
Tackled out. Yeah, well, they're both holding the man.
Oh, how's Josh Dunkley do it?
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. That'll do us for the AFL Today Show. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe to AFL Today on YouTube and follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more footy content all season long. Subscribe, star, and like all of our shows on your podcast apps. That's Cricket Today, AFLW Today, Hold All Tickets, True Bloods, Footy Form Guide, and the new show Out the Gate. Thank you very much to Gerald behind the camera for putting up with all of our crap. Thank you very much, Leo.
Keen for some semis.
Yes, absolutely. The semi-finals, that is.
And then the football!
Yeah. Thank you, Marcus.
Oh, thank you.
And that'll do us for the AFL Today Show.